Hey, what's up, y'all? What's happening? Hey, I want to make something very clear. All right. I know I said a long time ago that I was going to step away from talking about politics, and which I still am, But every once in a while, I might throw my little 2 cents in. You know what I'm saying? And you know, I want to talk about this whole conflict between the two races between black and whites. Because lately I know before the election everybody was talking about how racist the Democrats are and this, that, and the third, and blase, blase, night. And I still hold on to that. But lately I've been seeing a little bit of racism within the Republican side too, or the conservative side. Because being a conservative, being a Republican is two different things. But anyway, I noticed that. First of all, before I say what I'm about to say, I get it. I totally understand. The hateful rhetorics that's being directed towards white people and all that type of stuff. I understand that white people are getting tired, and I know that they're getting tired of being accused of being racist and all this hateful rhetoric that's being thrown at them. I totally understand. You know what I'm saying? I get it. They're getting tired of being held responsible for stuff that they never did. I get it. I totally understand. But let me tell you something. Now I'm starting to see this starting to become reversed because now because white people have been taking it for so long from black people, now a lot of them are now a lot of them are getting to the point where it's like, how can I say it? They're starting to blame all black people for violent crimes that black people commit. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, you had that situation, that brawl that took place in Cincinnati, Ohio, when that white lady got punched by that black guy. You know what I'm saying? Or, that's just to name a few. Or another situation where that black guy stabbed that white lady, or that I think she was from Russia to Ukraine or something. He stabbed her in the neck. You know what I'm saying? And so now white people are just starting to get, these are white people that are conservative, you know what I'm saying, or who lean towards the right, or I really don't know, to be honest with you. But now they're starting to make all these comments about black people are just inherently violent and this, that, and the third, and blase, this, that. And let me tell you something, man. Hold on, let's make this very clear. All right, I'm gonna make this very clear. All right, I am a firm believer that white people should not be held accountable for stuff that they never did in the past, okay? All right, that is completely unacceptable. But guess what? I also believe that you got good black people like myself and others that should not be held accountable for stupid, crazy stuff that other black people do. You know what I'm saying? Because now you're becoming no different from the Democrats, you know what I'm saying, who like to make everything about skin color, race, and this, that, and the third, you know what I'm saying? You know, I'm starting to realize that you got this whole black fatigue thing going on. I'm not with all that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Because let me make this very clear. I don't have black fatigue. I have ghetto fatigue. Okay, because ghetto behavior can be displayed by any type of. I know There's black people who are ghetto, white people that are ghetto, Latinos that are ghetto. Heck, I even ran into some Asians that were ghetto. You know what I'm saying? So it's not about black and white. You know what I'm saying? Now, is the percentage of crime very high in the black community? Yeah, that's on the yeah. I get it. You know what I'm saying? I do believe that. Yeah, I do believe that we should call out facts for what it is. But at the same time, you know what I'm saying? Here's the thing. Me, as my own individual self, it is not my job to hold black people accountable. It is my job to hold myself accountable. You know what I'm saying? It's my job to hold myself accountable. It's not my job to hold the next black person accountable, especially if I don't even know that person. I don't know that person from Adam and Eve, okay? So how can I hold somebody accountable that I don't know? You know what I'm saying? That doesn't make sense. Just like it's not a white person's job to hold white people accountable. You know what I'm saying? Let me tell you something. I'm an individualist, okay? So I believe that everybody should hold themselves accountable. You can't hold a whole entire race of people accountable because of what these stupid knuckleheads be doing. No, that's just the people. Here's the thing. All right, you got black people. They have bad experiences with white people, so they put all white people in the same category. Then you have white people. They have bad experiences with all black. They have bad experiences with black people, so they put all black people in the same category. No, it's just stupid knuckleheads you dealt with. You just a-holes you dealt with. That's all that is. You just dealt with very bad people. You know what I'm saying? But here's the thing. One thing about me, I'll stick up for anybody. If I see a white person get mistreated in front of me, by, if I'm seeing a white person get mistreated by a black person, yes, I'm gonna stand up for that person. But not because that person's white or that person's black, but because that person's a human being. I don't like to see people get mistreated, period. I don't like seeing, I don't like bullies, period. You know what I'm saying? And the same thing, vice versa. If I see a black person get mistreated by a white person, yes, I'm gonna stand up for him or her. You know what I'm saying? Because that is a human being. I don't like seeing another human being mistreat another human being. It ain't got nothing to do with your skin color. For me, I truly, even though Martin Luther King has socialist ideologies, but I take what Martin Luther King said to heart. You know what I'm saying? You know, judge people by the content of their character, not by the color of their skin. But I'll take it a step further. You know what I'm saying? I got one better than that. I don't judge people by the color of their skin or content of their character. I judge them by the spirit I discern. See, people got to understand, this is why we got to return back to God. This is why we are a nation that needs to turn back to God. We need to go back to God, because let me tell you something. The Bible tells us that in Ephesians chapter 6, verse 12, we wrestle not against flesh and blood, but against spiritual wickedness in high places. Okay. So what we got going on, it's not a black thing. It's not a white thing. It's not a Latino thing. It's not a age of whatever. This is strictly spiritual warfare. And these are demons operating through that person. Like, for example, when that black dude killed that woman on the bus, that was not a black man. Okay. Well, I mean, yes, physically that was a person of color. But what I saw was a person that was demonically possessed, or, you know, somebody who was oppressed with demons. You know what I'm saying? Now, don't get it twisted. I think that person was a very horrible person. That person's a piece of trash. Okay. But the thing is that now we're making this into a race thing. You know what I'm saying? And now people want to sit up here and say, oh, that was, now people making it seem like that black people are inherently violent. I'm not going to tolerate that. You know what I'm saying? You know, like, here's the thing. We should not make this about black and white, because now we're doing the same thing that the Democrats were doing. You know what I'm saying? Making this about skin color, making this about race. No, it's not about race. No, if we're gonna be about one people being all Americans, let's be about that. You know what I'm saying? Don't be sitting up here complaining about, what's the word I'm looking for? You know, don't be sitting up here talking about, oh, we need to stop talking about racism, but y'all the same people that talk about black fatigue. When I say y'all, I'm not talking about white people, black people. I'm talking about anybody that's on the right talking about black fatigue. You know what I'm saying? Because then you got these black conservatives that's sitting up here bowing down to that type of stuff, sitting up here being white sympathizers. And now y'all acting like a whole bunch of white liberals, just like white liberals like to sit up here and feel bad about stuff they didn't do. You got black conservatives sitting up here feeling bad about stuff they didn't do. You know what I'm saying? I'm not about to do that. I don't feel bad. I'm sorry. I don't feel bad. You want to know why? Because I didn't do that. That person did that, not me. You know what I'm saying? That particular person went out and committed a hate crime towards another person of another ethnicity. I didn't do that. You know what I'm saying? See, this is the thing. I'm starting to see how this stuff works. You got white liberals. They say what black people want to hear to get black people to like them. But then you got, not all, but you got a lot of black conservatives. They sitting up here saying what white people want to hear to get white people to like them. No. Now, let me make this very clear. Yes, I am a conservative who happens to be black. American, okay? But I am not one of these tap dancing black conservatives that's going to get on these social medias and sitting up here saying stuff that these white people want to hear. You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm for the people, not black people, not white people, but for the people. You know what I'm saying? I'm all about standing up for human beings. Not standing up. If I see somebody get mistreated, I'm going to stand up for them, not because they're black or because they're white, but because that person's a human being. You know what I'm saying? And let me make this very clear. You got the black people who are liberals, you know what I'm saying? They spill all this hatred and all this blame towards white people. I don't like that, okay? I don't agree with that. I don't like that. I can't stand that, okay? I don't like that. You know what I'm saying? But then at the same time, you got all these black conservatives that's sitting up here, you know, putting down black people all the time. You know what I'm saying? I don't like that stuff. Even sitting up here talking down on the black community like all black people, but these are black conservatives sitting up here talking down on all black people. You do know you black, right? You know what I'm saying? So no, I don't agree with neither side, okay? Again, we're Americans. You know what I'm saying? We're all Americans. So if we're gonna hold people accountable, let's hold people accountable. Let's call it for what it is. Evil. It's evil behavior. Evil behavior. You know what I'm saying? I'm not with this whole putting down, and don't get it wrong. Yes, I do believe that that type of behavior should be called out. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not with this whole black fatigue sitting up here talking about black fatigue like as if black people in America are the only people in this country that be doing evil stuff. No, you got white people that do some evil stuff. You got Hispanic people that do some evil stuff. I lived around a whole bunch of people that did some evil stuff. So evil does not have a skin color. You know what I'm saying? Evil resides in all people. Again, we're not dealing with, this is not, what's the word I'm looking for? It's not about skin color. This is spiritual warfare. That's why we got to revert back to the Bible. That's why we got to revert back to the Bible. Because if we don't put our focus on God, then yes, it's going to be easy for us to, it's going to be easy for us to sit up here and blame white people, black people, Latino people, Asian people. No, this is the work of the devil. That's what this stuff is. So that's all I want to say.